think that's, yes, that's even better. It's super sunny today, and it's not like it's cloudy and overcast, but it's sunny in that way that like snowy days are sunny, like it's just really bright outside. So I guess that's the word, bright, not sunny. But I had to close my sheer curtain because it's so bright out the window. Oh no, I'm gonna be squeaking on this pillow. You hear that? My butt pillow is pushing against something on the shelf. We're back. Get some coffee. It is Friday, February 18th. My name is Lee. I'm coming at you from Pittsburgh, PA. It is currently 11:48 in the morning, not even noon yet, and I woke up less than an hour ago. So I am not tip-top yet, but I did want to go ahead and start filming this morning because I wanted to. I actually just edited and uploaded my last podcast yesterday. I guess this is just going to be my rhythm from now on. It's going to be filming, waiting a week and a half, editing and uploading, and then immediately filming again, which is a way to do it, I guess. Now I know like all of the projects that I just edited yesterday, I saw in the last video, they're all fresh in my mind. So I guess that's a plus. But it's probably a weird schedule for you. I don't even know if you'll notice. It'll just be weird when I say the dates. Oh well, whatever. I have a lot of stuff to talk to you about today. I hope you're ready for another 1 hour of Lee rambling, because that's what you're in for. And I hope that's what you're here for, because that's all I can provide. That's all I am able to give. I have a gamut today. I have FOs, I have whips, I have future cast-ons, I have bonus finished things that are not knitted but knitting related, and I even have acquisitions and a sneak peek in my sketchbook. So it's gonna be jam-packed today. Big boy episode today. I have my coffee in my Alison Fretheim mug. This is one of my favorite mugs. It's my favorite one from her. I have two from her. And this was the first one I bought from her. I'm a sucker for white with black polka dots. I had a Dalmatian growing up, and she was one of my heart dogs. You know, you have heart dogs and you have dogs that you love, but heart dogs are special. They're always going to be a part of you. I actually have a picture of her up on the top of the shelf that you cannot see from where you're at, but I keep a picture of her in here. Her name was Lucy, and she was a wonderful dog. She actually had a lot in common with my current dog, Pud, if you've seen him on the channel. They have very similar personality types. I think I have a type. They're both very type A. Actually, hold please. I went around gathering my acquisitions and I forgot one. Hold on. All right, I have gathered my additional acquisitions. Now we are ready to go. Did I miss anything? I told you my name is Lee. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at one of these names. These names down here, I have them down here somewhere. Through my Instagram, you'll be able to find a link to my art Instagram if you're interested in checking that out. I will have a little bit of overlap today in the podcast with my art career stuff. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's get started into actual knitting content. We're gonna start with FOs. I had a moment last week where I decided I wanted to just knit a million hats, I guess. I don't know. But they're pretty cute. Let's talk about my hats. All of my finished objects are hats, and there are 3 of them. First one you've seen before. This is my finished Johanna hat. Johanna. I don't know how this is actually pronounced. So this is the test knit I did for Hannah at Herb Garden Knitwear. It is a super long 2x2 ribbed hat. The brim is folded twice, so it gets nice and squishy. And I told you I was feeling some sort of way about the colors of this hat, and I still am. I'm not certain it's exactly what I want. Put it on and show you. But can I tell you that this is the softest, squishiest, most well-fitting hat I have ever made. It is so good. Like, I've made a couple of Musselburghs and I've always raved about them too. And I do love them, but the fact that this one is ribbed and has so many like brim folds, it's so warm around your ears. It's up there. I think this is up there in favorite hats. So I'm still on the fence because part of me wants to make another one in colors that are more me. But then part of me is already like, I put so much work into this one and it's done. So we'll see. We'll see. It is really cute. You get these little peaks of this like really bright speckling in there, little like bright greenish, yellowy, chartreusey speckling. That's a lot of fun. It's so good, and it's so soft. It's all blocked and washed and stuff, and it's just so good. I highly recommend this pattern when it releases. The test is still going. The actual due date is the 25th. It ends February 25th, so I imagine either the end of this month or the beginning of March this pattern will be released. So keep your eyes peeled. Follow Hannah on Instagram for news and updates because it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I love this hat. I will be knitting another one. First finished object. Second finished object is, okay, did I mention, I think I mentioned in the last episode that my bangs are just wild today. I hope they're not too distracting. They're really distracting for me. What was I saying? Oh, I mentioned in the last episode, I'm pretty sure, that we were doing a knit along with my knit group. We bought yarn for the knit along last year. We do it every February. We knit a Fair Isle hat pattern, and we had so much yarn left over that we all put our yarn into a pot at the yarn shop, and the girl who runs the knit along yarn shop, all of that, she shuffled it all around and gave us like different colors so that we could switch it up and make their next hats in different colors. So we got all of that yarn back. It's Rowan felted tweed. I don't have tags or anything because, like I said, we had already used the yarn, so all the tags are long gone. But it's Rowan felted tweed, which is a DK weight yarn, and the pattern we chose this year is this one. These are the colors that I got, which are very good. She did a very good job picking colors for me. I think this dark green, or this avocado-y green, and this yellowy color, and this grayish color, I think I used them all my first time around too. She just really knows my color preference. That's the back of the hat. Looks better this way. Here we go. This is a pattern from Church Mouse Yarns. I think it's called just like the Fair Isle hat or something. It's called the Colorwork Cap, and it's by Church Mouse Yarns, yes. The pattern is available on Ravelry. It is big. This hat is very large. The way the pattern was written was it tells you the sizes and then it tells you the head circumference that the hat is supposed to fit. And I wanted to knit this for Brad, and the circumference was too small according to the measurements written down on paper. So she said you can add a size to it by just adding 8 inches up or down, or increments of 8 stitches up or down, not inches. So I just added 1 increment of 8 stitches, and do I keep showing you the back? No, that's the front. And it ended up giant. Like, look at it compared to my head. And like, it looks great. I love the way felted tweed blocks out with colorwork especially. Would you like to see my floats? There we go. But Brad doesn't like slouchy hats, which is kind of important with a hat this large. It's definitely slouchy. I'm thinking I might add something like a tassel or something to the end so that it hangs a little better on me, because it fits me, it's just kind of loose. It fits me as a slouchy hat. It's just kind of, it's not really tight against my head. But this yarn is not superwash, so it doesn't have a lot of like stretch. Like, it has lots of spring back. So it holds its shape really well. So I may just add a tassel and keep it for myself, or I may add a tassel or a little pom-pom, something like that, and gift it to a sibling, because a couple of my siblings have really large heads. Like really big heads. My sister and my brother both have pretty big heads. 2 brothers, I think. Both of my brothers have pretty big heads. So, I don't know. For right now, it's going to be sitting in the I'm not sure what to do with you might be gift pile. But it did turn out super cute. Look how nice and flat that color work turned out. Also, color work really clicked for me with this. Like, I've always, every time I've done color work, it's been fine. And like, I can do it and I enjoy it. But the thing with working on this hat was it happened to be the moment that I figured out how to hold yarn in my right hand. I am a continental knitter, if you don't know, so I hold the yarn in my left hand. And I'm a picker. So the concept of English knitting and throwing is very uncomfortable, very foreign to me. So it finally clicked with it. Normally what I do is I throw with my right hand, and I basically have to drop the yarn every time. I like kind of hold it in my hand, but I have to pick it up with these fingers every time and throw. But I figured out how to flick with my right hand for this hat. We have a second finished hat. I should probably take these hats and do a thumbnail as soon as I'm done talking about my last hat. Don't let me forget. My last hat is the Fair Isle colorwork hat knit along we do for Knit Group. For this hat is just for Knit Group. The actual yarn store is also hosting a general public knit along for Fair Isle February for the Yariega hat. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Yariega hat. Yes. It is by Belen Fernandez. And it is super cute. There's actually 2 options. There's this option with the pom-pom, and then there is the option that I made, which has no pom-pom. It's more of a beanie style, fitted close to the head, and you alternate the colors all the way up instead of doing one contrast color and then all the same up. But look, isn't it cute? I love how this one turned out. I used the same yarn as this one. I finished this one. I said, oh, well, I guess I want to participate in the other knit along with the yarn shop as well. And I didn't want to put this yarn back in stash. I wanted to go ahead and cast a whole nother hat on with the same yarn. I still have yarn left over. I could probably make a whole nother hat. Yeah, let me find the back here and put it on for you, because this hat is great. I didn't change anything about the pattern for this one. I knit it exactly to pattern. And I really like it. I think this might fit Brad too, so we might be fighting over it. But I love how these colors came out. Like this color combo. It's very Stone Age to me. I just really like it. And yeah, my bangs are no better off now that I've tried on all these hats. Yes, that's the Yariega hat. Also, I forgot to mention, every single thing, every single pattern you see in this episode today, every single project is going to have a project page, except for 2 of them, but I'll tell you which ones when I get to those. But all of these have project pages. My project page is linked below, so you can check those out. That's all my finished objects. Oh, I forgot. I'm supposed to be doing a thumbnail. All right, sip of coffee. Starting to get into a groove now. I'm giving off real 90s vibes today with these ridiculous bangs and these this Izod sweatshirt. All right, let's talk about whips. First whip I have is in, we're gonna actually try to remember to talk about bags today because I always forget to talk about bags. This whip is in this bag, which until yesterday had a different whip in it and I switched them out. But now in this bag that I made myself out of vintage fabric plus some other fabric that I got at Joann's, and it's quilted with embroidery thread and has a flannel lining. Hand sewed it too. It's completely hand sewn. This has my crochet squares in it, my granny squares from my granny square blanket. And in the past week and a half, however long it's been since I filmed last, I have only done 5 squares. These two on top are from a Stress Knits mini, actually, not a Woolberry mini. If you're new here, this project is a granny square blanket that I'm making from my Woolberry Advent, my 2020 Woolberry Advent. It's been sitting in this container for over a year and I finally decided I'm just gonna make granny squares. I'm using the granny square pattern from Nitty Natty and I added an extra round. So I'm doing 9 rounds of double crochets and I can get 2 from a 20 gram mini. So this was actually a Stress Knits mini, but that my friend gifted me because she threw it into a gift box that she sent me. And then these are Woolberry. I got these 2 from this mini. And I got another one from the main color. I'm also making squares all out of the main skein from the Advent. This is all I have left. Okay, I just had a horrifying moment where I thought that the last 16 minutes that I filmed were, the camera wasn't filming, but it was. I just went back and double checked. It was filming, thank goodness. Ugh. Anyways, I was saying, I still have enough here to get several squares out of it. I will not put my new squares back in the bag. I'm going to add these to my giant stack of granny squares. And I'm going to show you all I have left. All I have left are this and these 3 minis. Isn't that fun? I'm so close. I'm so close. I also have this in here, which is Fiber Spates Vivacious 4-ply. I need to weigh it and see if it's at least 10 grams, and if it is, I'll make another square out of this too. And then I will be ready to realistically let it sit until I decide I want to order the color I want to use for the border and to connect all the squares together. I don't know when that's gonna be, but it won't be immediately. So yay, very exciting. I got 5 more squares done. I only have 2, 4, 6, 7, I don't know, maybe like 15 more squares to go, max. It's very, very close, getting very close. All right, now for whips, we will talk about socks. I guess that sounds fair. First pair of socks is in this Paisley and Gold sewing bag. This is one of her Hamilton project bags. I have quite a few of these. And these are my February striped socks that I am making for Brad. This is the first completed sock. Obviously I still have to weave in an end, but you know, whatever. These are a 1x1 cuff, a 3x1 leg, 3x1 rib continues down the top of the foot, but the bottom is stockinette. I do 68 stitches for him and a Fish Lips Kiss heel. These are on size US 1 needles, and the yarn is the Cozy Knitter in the color Cherished. I threw out the tag already because I'm a bad podcaster, but the color is Cherished. It was a sock set. So this contrast color was provided with the main color. And I've started on the second sock. Ta-da! We got a good chunk of a leg. I think I need 14 stripes. Oh, no, I only need 10 stripes for the leg, which means I'm on the second to last stripe. Ah, I'm getting so close. So close. These are nice. Like, striped socks are always really fun, but the colors aren't super exciting for me. So to keep myself motivated for these, all I've been doing is setting myself a 3 stripe a day goal. So for the first one, I started to really lose steam right after the heel. And I said, okay, as soon as I get past the heel, I'm just gonna do 3 stripes a day, which is only about 15 rounds, which takes no time. And I was finished in just a few days. So I'm just keeping that going through this one. I am on stripe number 2 for today, but I wanted to stop and come film. So I will do some catching up later, but it really takes no time to do 9 more rounds. It'll be nothing. So that's how those are going. Those will be done before February's over, and that'll be very exciting to add another pair of socks to Brad's section of the sock box. Oh, sorry, I probably shouldn't hit the tripod with the bags when I throw them down. It's all right. Second pair of socks is in this Woodsy and Wild bag. Basically all of my project bags are either from Paisley and Gold Sewing or from Woodsy and Wild because they're my favorites, but this is one of her sock size bags. I love these bags, and I love supporting South Carolina artists because that's where I'm from. And this has my favorite things socks in it. It has a progress keeper still on it that I will take off before it pulls a stitch. There are even little pockets in these bags, so I can put it in like its little pocket. It's so convenient. But look, I finished my first favorite things sock. This is a pattern by, I can tell you, I have forgotten, but I can tell you. This is a pattern by Lauren Colby, who is known as Backwood Knits Company. And the yarn was a mystery sock set from Playful Day Yarn Company, Playful Day Yarns. And she did like mystery sock bundle kind of things. And so she put these little color collections together, and I didn't know what I was getting, and I was so happy. These are incredible. I love Playful Day's sock base. It's so like fine and a pleasure to knit with. And her colors, though it's like a tonal, it's really rich and still interesting to knit on. But it's got 2 Latvian braids and this colorwork leg, which is a lot of fun. And then down at the toe, this is what the top of the foot looks like. And then the bottom looks like this. It mimics the leg a little bit. And the first one's completely finished, and I have not cast on the second one yet. I have all of these empty needles in my little bag with my yarn. It'll happen. It'll happen one day. I have not been feeling socks. I knit 36 pairs of socks last year, and so far this year I have finished 8. I think I've finished 8 pairs of socks this year. Not started and finished, but finished. And I think because I started off so gung-ho, I've been really in the like, I need to take a break kind of phase. So my sock knitting has been really slow. I'm going to be talking in future cast-ons a little bit more about that. The last sock whip I have, I say my sock knitting mojo has been really low as I show you my third sock whip. But this is another Woodsy and Wild bag. I am obsessed with this little octopus fabric. It's metallic. It's so good. And I love a spooky octopus. Cephalopods are the best. All right, in this bag, I have a pair of worsted weight socks. Can you believe? I figured, I was actually feeling kind of a way. I was like, I really want to cast on another pair of socks, but I don't want to cast on another fingering weight pair of socks. I want to cast on some socks that'll be like really quick and potato chippy, and I can just get them over with, and it'll be very satisfying for me. And I had this cake of yarn in one of my little baskets. It is a really beautiful, you gonna focus? There we go. It's a really beautiful, highly variegated hand-dyed skein of worsted weight yarn called All American Hen. And it's chicken colored. On my project pages, you will see I think I called them chicken socks. But I took that cake, I was like, oh, well, it's worsted weight, but it feels super light. I'm just gonna use a DK sock pattern, just DK vanilla socks. I split it in half so that I could use all of the yarn, and I cast on toe up. Can you believe? Who am I? If you don't know, I only knit socks cuff down, except for these. I cast these on toe up because I wanted to use all of the yarn. So here's what it looks like knit up. If you give me a moment, I'll tell you who the dyer is, but I know it's called All American Hen, and I bought it at one of my sort of local yarn shops. It's in a town about an hour away, but I still consider it fairly local. Look how fun that knit up. And I was able to, out of this 50 gram skein, get a super long sock. I knit about 40 rounds, I think, stockinette before I switched to rib, and then just knit rib until I was done. But I did that so that I could fold them down so that they'd be a normal length. And they're really cute, all folded down. I really like how they turned out. Let me tell you who the dyer is. I have my project pages up here, chicken socks. My photo is not updated. Dream in Color is the name of the yarn dyer. But yeah, these are so much fun. It did fly by, but because it is so long, because I used the whole 50 grams, it was not as quick as I expected it to be. Oh, I also did I guess I should tell you, I did a sewn bind off for the cuff because it's my favorite bind off for a stretchy bind off that still has structure. I know that there are stretchier bind offs out there, but I don't like it when they look flared and loose. I like my bind offs to still look really structured, even on a sock. So that's that. I have one done. I have not cast on the second one at all yet. I don't know when I will. Same about the Playful Day socks. I'm just not sure when I'm gonna cast the second one on. I'm really just like following my heart with knitting lately. I'm just kind of staying really intuitive about it, doing what I feel like, which is really funny considering how many test knits I've signed up for. All right, last whips are all sweaters. First things first, I can show you. We'll start with this one. You didn't get to see this one on the last episode. I showed it episode before last, episode 7, and then didn't show it episode 8 because I had not worked on it at all. It's in this mystery bag that took 6 months to arrive from Russia, but I love it. It is mustardy yellow, has 30 pockets inside, and I've put some pins on there. I have a summer sock camp pin, one that my friend made, knit fast, dye warm. I learned to knit in prison. I've never been to prison. I am in fact an abolitionist. We're not gonna get into that today. All right, so, this is my VZ sweater. The VZ, if I can find a photo here that doesn't give away the pattern. This is the VZ. It is a pattern by Paula Pereira, designed for Brooklyn Tweed for their like school collection that came out, I think last fall. Yes, released September 2021. So like when school starts, it was released last year. So I fell in love with this and had to cast it on. I immediately bought the yarn from my local yarn shop. And this is the project I take to Knit Night to work on. So it's gotten a little work. We didn't have Knit Night yesterday, but we did have it last week. And I got so close during Knit Night to finishing the raglan increases that I brought it home and just kept working on it for the next couple days, all the way until the point where I could connect the V. So I have just connected. I have 2 rounds past the V connection, and it is turning out so cute. I am loving it. It's a DK weight yarn. It's knit out of Arbor, Brooklyn Tweed Arbor, which is one, I love this yarn. I've knit an entire sweater out of this yarn before, and I was itching to do another one because I enjoyed it so much. It's a pleasure to knit with. It's a pleasure to wear. It's so good. So yes, I finished the raglan increases, separated or connected for the sleeves. That's not how it works. I finished the raglan increases, and you continue to knit flat until the you separate the sleeves, and then you continue to knit flat until the V connection. And that's what I did. The colors I'm using are, do I have tags for these? I don't know if I actually told you the names of the colors last time. I know this color is called Crumb. It is a discontinued color, but my yarn shop had plenty in stock. I think they don't anymore. I think I bought them out of most of it. But it's this really like grungy, dirty looking khaki mustardy brown color. I love it. I love it. That's the main color. And then I'm using Scraps of Spruce, which is a gorgeous dusty green color. These are scraps from the last Arbor sweater I made. This color is also discontinued. I apologize for that as well. And then the only color that's not discontinued is this one. This color is Butte. How do you pronounce that? B-U-T-T-E? I know it's like a natural formation, like a rock formation, but I don't know how you pronounce it. Butte. It's pronounced Butte. I'm over here like, but I don't know. I think I thought it was like Buta or something. I don't know. But it's beautiful. This warm, burnt orangey red color. Gorgeous terracotta. So yeah, that'll be my VZ. Just pulling it out makes me want to knit on it again. It's only stockinette and it's super easy, and it would probably be done in a week if I sat down and worked on it, but it only gets worked on once a week max. So maybe once I finish a project that I have that has a deadline, I'll start working on that one more. Next sweater is a project with a deadline. This is my test knit, my other test knit for Hannah of Herb Garden Knitwear. This is my Vivian sweater. It's kind of wrinkly because it was stuffed in this bag. It's a little too small for it. But my Vivian sweater is, that's the back. This far along, I have finished all of the body completely. At least for now. I'll get into that in a moment. But I finished the body. And I've started the first sleeve. Look at that. I'm so excited. I tried it on, it fits, but I think I want the body to be just a little bit longer. Only like ½ an inch, but I really want that ½ an inch. So I was thinking about this last night, about taking it back, ripping it back and knitting an extra 1/2 inch. But then I thought about knitting all of this twisted rib again, which I am not the kind of person who minds knitting rib. I really do not. Rib does not bother me. Twisted rib, I hate it. It's not the same. I don't know. I can't get in a rhythm with twisted rib, so it's constantly like I have to be paying attention. So I don't know. I guess I still haven't completely decided, but I think I might do sweater surgery on this. I've done it a couple of times where I've cut a sweater, like right above the rib. I'll cut it and then I'll knit 1/2 inch and then I'll graft the ribbing back on. I don't know. I think what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna finish it and then I'm going to block it and try it on and see if that 1/2 inch is still that important to me. Because it might not be. It does fit, like it's long enough. Like it's a cropped sweater. It's supposed to be worn with high-waisted garments. So it's long enough. We'll just see how I feel about it. But let me look at it. Look how fun this is. It's like, it's giving me like 70s Jester vibes and I am all about it. I love it so much. This sweater is going to be so nice. And this brown, I realize is exactly the same brown as my favorite t-shirt and one of my other favorite like store-bought sweaters that I wear all the time. Mostly I don't wear like jean colored jeans a lot, like denim colored blue jeans. I don't wear blue denim very often. I usually wear black jeans and I love black and brown together. Half of my wardrobe is black and brown together. So this will go with everything in my wardrobe. It'll also go with like all the skirts I have are really warm, like warm toned browns and oranges and golds. And I think this will go well with all of those as well. I'm just trying to keep my capsule wardrobe capsule. But yeah. Isn't it great? I'm so excited. Pulling this out actually has made me want to work on it again too. So I'll probably get a few inches done on the sleeve today. I think that'll be a good goal for me. Let me tell you about the yarn. This is knit out of Knit Picks palette. My favorite non-superwash budget yarn. It is a fingering weight and the color is dough. Palette is a 100% Peruvian Highland wool and I love it. It's so good. Dough is, I thought they were going to discontinue the color actually for a minute, but it's still available and I think it's slept on. No one talks about it. I don't think this kind of just like true brown is a very popular color though. But yes, I have about another month, maybe just under a month left in the test knit for this, just to finish 2 sleeves. So I think I'm doing pretty good with this and it's gonna be so nice to have it in my wardrobe. My little battery light is blinking, so I'm going to have to take a moment and switch out this battery and I will be right back to show you my last whip and then all the other shit I have to talk about. Oh man. I really hope that you guys appreciate just me rambling about nonsense for an hour. I just want this podcast to be a safe space where we can interact and love on each other and have a good time with no pressure and just share creative stuff together. All right. The last whip I have is one that I showed you episode before last. It got a little bit more work and some trouble. Dun dun dun. This is my Irish Rover pullover. Okay, so this is actually super beautiful. It is a pattern by Tetty's Knit Garden. I'm struggling because it's at the end of these needles and I don't want it to fall off. But I do want to stretch this side of it and show you these cable patterns. This is a pattern that I started for the Crazy Cabled Sweater Cow hosted by Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady, and Lindsay at Sock Witchery. This is my sweater for that. And I still hope to finish in time. The cal is going until like June. But it got pushed aside while I started working on the Vivian sweater test knit. And it's knit out of Nutidin, held double in the color Glimped, which is attached here, but this is the color. I love it so much. I really wanted to get in on the last Nutidin update, but I am on a yarn ban. I'm not supposed to be buying anything and I'm having big regrets. But this sweater is knit bottom up and I am done with the body. Maybe. I'm having a really hard time figuring out if this is going to be long enough because bottom up sweaters are hard. But it's still on the needles, so if I need to keep adding length, I can. I figured for now, I'm just going to call it good and I'm going to start on the sleeves, which is what I did. I started the first sleeve here, which you can see has the adorable cable detail at the cuff. And I've gotten past all of the increases for the sleeve. And I don't know if you can tell, but the sleeve is tiny. Here's my trouble. I was knitting this sleeve yesterday and I got past the increases and realized that I don't think this is going to be big enough around. According to the pattern, it's supposed to be like 14 inches around, and it is not 14 inches around. I double checked my gauge here and I'm off. I'm off a bit. I don't know how this happened. I think knitting on the DP, on the metal needles, first of all, tightened my gauge a little bit, and knitting in the small circumference tightened my gauge a little bit. I'm having a moment with it. I don't know if I want to rip it out and start over. It is just a sleeve. It doesn't actually like take that long. And I don't think I'd need to rip it out all the way. I think I would just need to rip out to the cuff and then start again with all the increasing, because the cuff fits fine. Doing those cables really loosened up my gauge. I don't know. I just saw in the Ravelry project pages that a lot of people were saying it was kind of, the pattern, the way it was written was kind of tight in the armpit anyway. So, people in Ravelry project pages are saying that it's a little bit tight in here. And I even saw one person say that for the raglan decreases of the sweater, which is how you shape the top of this one, she added some extra length here. I can't remember exactly how she said it. I like saved it somewhere so that I could copy her because I knew I would want a little bit of extra space in here. I am small fat, so I have like arms and I need space to be able to move them. I'm not a skinty girl. So I had like saved that and was like thinking about modifying the top anyway. And so I'm wondering, I haven't really sat down and like done math or anything, but I've been thinking about just increasing the sleeve width a little bit extra. And if I do that, then that would account for the extra raglan decreases. Because a little extra length in here, just like 3 or 4 decreases, I don't think that would be too much, you know? And I really only need like 3 or 4 more increases. Well, that would be more than 3 or 4 increases on the sleeve. Ooh, because every raglan decreases 8 stitches and every sleeve increases 2 stitches. So I could get a good number of stitches. Even if I just increase the sleeve by 8 stitches, that would only be 1 extra round of raglan decreases. I'm thinking about this. I think this might be something I do. It would probably be easier than ripping out and reknitting an entire sleeve. But I've already knit, this is the last increase, and I've already knit this much past the last increase. Oh no. No, I haven't, because I didn't mark the last increase. I would only have to rip out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I'm on the next increase round. Okay, never mind. I think I'm probably gonna do that. So that's how I'm gonna fix this this issue of Little Sleeve. I'm going to increase a few more times, and then I'm just going to add extra raglan decreases to the yoke of this sweater to even out. And that'll be good. Which is another reason I stopped with this, because if I add any extra decreases or length up here, it'll add to the length of the body. So yeah, doing a little bit of modification with this. I'm still kind of winging it and playing it by ear, so I will let you know when it happens what I end up doing. I'll try to put notes in my Ravelry page too. Oh, I forgot to tell you also, the crochet granny square blanket and the... No? Is it just a crochet granny square blanket? This is the only project that doesn't have a project page on Ravelry. Everything else can be found there. Yeah, everything else can be found there. VZ is on there, but it doesn't have any photos. But it is there if you want to see like yarn, the names of the yarn colors that I used. But yeah, that is the last bag. Oh, I forgot to tell you, or the last project. This, my Vivian sweater, the brown sweater, is in another Paisley and Gold sewing bag. This is actually just the sock size. It's fitting so far. It's a crop sweater. It doesn't, I just keep one ball of yarn with it at a time, and it's fitting fine. And then this last bag is another mystery project bag from Etsy. Mystery yellow project bags from Etsy are apparently what I'm into. This one is lined in black. This is one with my Irish Rover pullover in it. This one's lined in black and has several pockets and a nice squishy, stretchy drawstring and a little leather. It's water stained, but it's a leather wrist strap. And that is all my whips. Oh my gosh, that's all my whips. Before I get into acquisitions and future cast-ons, I want to show you one other finished object I have that is not a knitting project. So let me talk about it a little bit. I actually have several things to show you here that are they show the progression of this project. But I decided actually it was probably late last year, I decided I wanted to try making project bags this year. But I wasn't sure how I wanted to do it. Like I'm not a sewist, but I was thinking, I was like, what am I good at? Like, what is my thing? And I was like, art's my thing. I'm an illustrator. It's like, I want to make project bags with my illustrations on them. And I went through all of these different like options, like screen printing, designing patterns to be screen printed on project bags, designing fabrics to have printed and then sewn into project bags, making my own stamps and stamping project bags, and also painting project bags, like hand painting with paint on project bags. And I decided that ultimately I would like to do several of these things. I would really love to get some bags screen printed, maybe even this year, but that's a faster process than what I'm doing now, or what I'm trying first. And I also have been planning on designing some fabrics, but I may not make project bags out of those, but they would be available for other people to make project bags out of them. I do want to design some more fabrics this year. I've done it before. But yeah, basically what I did was I did some research into ways to paint on project bags or onto fabric. And I found a way to paint on fabric. I went and bought paint, and it is not just regular paint, it is fabric paint, and it is permanent and washable. It can be dry cleaned, thrown in the washing machine, anything. And I did a little practice piece, this little piece of scrap fabric. And I painted some little bits on there just to play around and see how I like the material or the medium. And then I sewed together just for myself, a practice bag out of some scrap fabric. It's lined and everything. I actually do want to finish this. I'm going to cut little holes and put a drawstring in, and I'm going to use this as a project bag. And I painted the front of this one with some little planty guys. This was my first sample, and I really love the way it looks. Like the paint on the fabric looks so nice, and it's so soft. You can't feel it at all. but I didn't like the scale of the plants on this one, but it was just practice, so that was fine. Have that one. And then I ordered actual bags, pre-made bags. They are cotton canvas, really basic. Since I'm trying this out, I started with very simple cotton canvas. They're unlined, but they have a double drawstring. That the drawstring is also made of canvas, or made of cotton, sorry, it's cotton drawstring. But I bought little 8x10 cotton drawstring bags. Sorry, the corners are still messed up because I had turned it inside out to set the fabric paint. And I painted on my first bag. This is the first finished bag. It's just big enough to hold sock size projects. Where are we? What do we have here? We have, like, it's a pretty decent size. I have a sock set here caked up. But it's got enough room in here for a whole sock set and needles and the socks that you're working on. Because there it is with the yarn inside. It could even hold a few skeins of yarn and be a really good size. So yes, I am really excited about how this bag turned out. This bag will be for sale. Oh, sorry. It's also got on the back, it's got a little heart. I'm going to put my name on them somewhere on the back. I'm not sure how yet, if I'm just gonna sign my name or if I'm going to get like a stamp made with my name on it. Not sure yet. I still have time because this bag will be available with, like, as a group. There will be a whole bunch of project bags dropped at the same time. I ordered 10 of this specific bag, but the quality is good but not great. Like, it's very like middle of the road quality. So these will be more reasonably priced. They'll be my first round of bags. I'm still figuring, I'll be experimenting with what I'm putting on them. I have one that has a spider on it. I have a couple of floral designs. This is the sneak peek into my sketchbook. This is a sticker from my friend. It says Crybaby and it's an onion. But I did a couple of floral designs that I want to include on a couple of bags. Where are they? Here. Just very simple, like loosey-goosey flowers. I want to do a couple like that. I'm really ready for spring. And I'll just play around. My next, if these sell, then my next round I will order higher quality bags, and I'm probably gonna drop collections that are themed after that. So maybe every few months, like every 3 months or so, like 4 times a year, I will drop a collection of themed project bags. That's it. That's all for things I have made. We'll do future cast-ons really quickly and then get into acquisitions. Okie doke. Future cast-ons. I don't know if you follow Summer Lee on the internet, but she just released a new sock pattern called the Daily. Sorry, I'm looking them up so I can show you a picture. They're called the Daily socks. And this is them. They're just a really simple textured pattern. And I have been really into textured socks lately. You know, I think one of the reasons my sock mojo is kind of gone is because vanilla socks just aren't doing it for me at the moment. So when I do knit socks, I've been enjoying texture. So I went and bought the pattern as soon as it was released. Excuse me. As soon as it was released, I'm signed up to her newsletter, so I got in immediately. Oh my gosh, sorry. But one of my friends was also really interested in knitting those socks, so she also bought the pattern. And we're probably both gonna cast on today, too, about how I'm feeling about socks right now. But when it's with a friend, it's different, right? Yeah. Whether or not I knit them quickly, I will still cast them on today. I have here in this little yarn bowl, this has been sitting up on this shelf up here for like half a year. I caked up this yarn like half a year ago and just never knit anything with it. I wanted to knit something at the time and it didn't happen. I ended up getting distracted by something else. And it's been waiting for the perfect project, and I think this might be it. I said to my friend, I was like, I think I want to use this yarn that's just been sitting around for these. And she's like, oh yeah, that'd be great. And she's starting hers today. She's not doing the same color or anything. She's doing a like pink or something. But I have this gorgeous sock set from Little Lionhead Knits, and it is called the Dutch Courtyard. And it is one of the first sock sets I ever bought. Like, this is deep stash. I'm getting excited though. I think I am gonna cast these on today. I'm very excited. They're in just a little wooden yarn bowl from Knit Picks. This yarn bowl is really like fun and convenient, but I don't like using the actual like loopy loop because it's not very smooth. And it's hard to get sandpaper in there, you know? But yeah, that's a cast on that I'll probably do today. And then the only other planned future cast on that I have right now is another test. This one is actually a test crochet, not a test knit. So that's exciting. I have, on a whim, signed up to test knit the Playtime Cowl by Knitty Natty, Natalie of Knitty Natty. And I think I signed up to do the double loop version. So it's a cowl that'll wrap twice, and it's a crochet cowl, and it's got these like crisscrossy crochet patterns. Like, so it's really open and very like appropriate for transitional seasons. And I'm trying to decide on what color I want to use. I can tell you which one I'm leaning towards, but I have this color called Daffodil Fields by Cornbread and Honey. This is a 100% non-superwash merino. Oh, I actually didn't know that was non-superwash. That would be nice. But I have this, it's just an individual random skein and stash, so I figured it could be nice to really get a whole cowl out of one skein. It's a one skein wonder, so that's exciting. This is my first option. My other option is this yarn. This is from Stitch Together Studio. This is a single ply superwash merino called in the color Dirty Pavement. This is also, like, both of these are pretty deep stash, but this one is super deep stash. I bought this in a D stash a long time ago, and because it's just one skein of single ply, I just have not been able to figure out what I want to do with it. And because I've been having such a hard time figuring out what I want to do with this, I'm kind of leaning towards using this one for the cowl test. You can see here it's this really pretty gray, but it's got like rainbow speckles, which is a lot of fun. I don't know. I don't wear a lot of gray, so my idea with this color was that it would be a great gift knit for somebody. And I think the Playtime Cowl would be a great gift. So if I do this test, I can add it to the gift pile, maybe. Brad might like it. I don't know. You can see here this color is a lot more, it's a lot more spring and the mood I'm feeling right now. But it's got this nice high twist. And then the single ply obviously is a completely different texture. I started swatching in a different single ply I have that was already caked up. Oh my God, are you gonna, my hands, I'm having a hard time. Here we go. I started swatching in a different single ply that I had lying around just to see what the stitch texture would look like in a single ply. And I really like how shiny it is. It feels really nice. Yeah, I'll probably go with this one. But I was missing a size 4mm crochet hook. I ordered one, it'll be here Sunday. And then the test starts on Monday, so I have until then to decide. But that's my other cast on. How many crochet cast ons? I cannot believe. Wow. Who am I? I do not know. All that I have left are acquisitions. And the news, I guess. I can talk to you a little bit about what's going on in my life, even though it's not very much. Let's start with acquisitions. first acquisitions I will talk about are stitch markers and progress keepers. First, I had an order come in from Pitter Patter Polymer. I follow her, them, I'm not sure their pronouns. I follow them on Instagram, and their stuff is so cute. It's so cute. They had this update just a couple days ago with these like fun, nostalgic candy springtime progress keepers, and they also still had some in stock of this other progress keeper that I wanted back when it was first released. And I thought that all three of them just went really well together, and I was just gonna go ahead and order all three. Let's try to hold these, my shaky hands. But these are them. Oh my gosh, look at them. I don't know if you can see it, but the gumball machine, his little gumball in the little hole, also has a smiley face. I'm dead. I love these so much. I'm so excited about them, and they're so well made. They're like shiny and substantial. They're really good, really nice. And then I got a just bukus of progress keepers from Sassafras Knits. All right, so Sassafras Knits and I talk on Instagram every once in a while. We have little interactions back and forth. I love her dearly. And she released these new little individual stitch markers that are this like vintage flower bead. And I loved it. When she posted it on Instagram, she had posted it in a photo with this like little tiny jade marker, and I was obsessed. I said, hey, can I also get that little jade marker? And she so kindly made a listing on her website for these little jade markers, and I was so, I ordered 2 of them. And while I was at it, I added on this like grayish blue stitch marker, and they're so sparkly and fun, and they look so great together. I'm just having a really good time with these stitch markers. There we go. Look at them, they're so good together. I just dropped one in my cup of coffee. Oh my God. I don't need you to stay in there. It's too acidic. My coffee's all cold too. Oh no. Oh no, I need a napkin. Well, let's try not to do that again. But yeah, I got those. But when I ordered those, when I was talking to her about the little jade markers, the conversation happened to turn around to a stitch marker that I had ordered from her like a year ago or more, that I used on Brad's Christmas sweater a couple years ago and then lost. I don't know where it went, and I think about it all the time. I loved that marker. She, perfect angel that she is, went digging through her stuff and found more bits and like the stones that she used to make that marker. And she sent me a couple replacements of the same stones. Oh my gosh, they're so good. I love them. What an angel. That's it for acquisitions that aren't specifically yarn. Now let's get into yarn acquisitions. I shouldn't have any because I'm not supposed to be buying yarn, but here we are. All right, I guess we'll go. we'll just get into it. I ordered 2 balls of Patons Kroy because my sock mojo is gone. So why wouldn't I buy sock yarn? Right? This color here is called Mid-Century Stripes, and every time I see someone post socks in this colorway online, I want it. So I found it, I bought it, and while I was at it, I noticed they also had 70s stripes. And I also loved this one. So I just went ahead and ordered them both. It's Patons Kroy, it was like $9 a ball. And they are 50-gram balls. So, you know, if you want a full 100 grams, you would have to spend like $18, but you know, whatever. They're so cute. $8 or $9, I can't remember. I got these, love them. I got this. Oh, more self-striping yarn from Tiny Human Knits. Who knew? What a surprise. This is her like mushroom themed colorway from last month. It's called, no, this month. It's called Fly Agaric. And look at it. It's so good. Could not resist. It's a little 50-gram skein. Then LaRue Cotton had a pre-order update for, she did an advent this past holiday season. It was like ocean themed, and she did a pre-order for the first half of her advent colors. And I ordered sock yarn. This is all sock yarn. Everything in acquisitions is sock yarn today. But I pre-ordered 2 colors from that collection in her sock base. Now her sock base is wool free. It is 55% bamboo, 24% cotton, 21% elastic, and it is 377 yards for 100 grams. And I got the color Octopus. And I got the color Sea Turtle, which has some like blues in it too. Oh, so good. This color, I wanted to make a pair of socks for me and for my mother. And for this, I ordered this color specifically for Brad. Like, look at the variation in these. Like I said, we love cephalopods in this house. We love them. I might be able to get a pair for both of us out of this as well, because these are 100-gram skeins. I have some, you can't see because it's just out of frame here, but on my on my spring summer shelf, sock yarn shelf over here, I have more of her yarn, and I have a red, like a red tonal and a yellow tonal, both that would go with either of these for a contrast color in the same base. So I figured I probably had yarn in stash. I didn't need to order contrast colors for those. This one just came yesterday. This is a full 100-gram skein of sock yarn. It is a 75/25 sock yarn from Barnyard Knits. My friend and I actually pitched in halfsies for this, so I will be splitting it in half and sending her half, because that's what we do as compromise to save money sometimes. If there's a color we both want, we'll be like, you want to split? Because we each only need 50 grams to make a pair of socks. And this is Barnyard Knits. Come on, show that tag. There we go, Barnyard Knits. And this is the color Snowdrop. Look at it. I think it's blowing out a little bit on camera, but it is a really bright whitish blue with green speckles. Like, oh my gosh, it's insane. It's so good. And it is just as good in person as it was in her photos on Instagram. Very, very beautiful. I'm very excited about that. And then the last acquisition I have is Shock and Surprise from Murray & Co. Wool Goods. This was one of her Valentine's colorways, and it is called Group Hug. It's a sock set, obviously, 100 grams and a 20 gram. And look at that. This is like my 70s Valentine's dream. I love this chartreuse. I love this like lilac-y pink. Oh, it's so good. This is perfect. I don't buy a lot of Valentine's Day yarn because I'm not a huge fan of Valentine's Day colors. Like, they're all right, but I have a very particular taste in pinks and pink yarn. But this is one, and I think I've only ever bought like one other Valentine's colorway. But I could not resist this one. I jumped on that listing online when she put them up. This has actually been sitting in a place of honor. We have, like, coming up our stairs to the second floor, we have on the landing, there's like a shelf, and we have like our wedding guest list and bottles and like decoration stuff up there, because you pass by it on your way up and it's a display shelf, like you can put things on it. This has been sitting on the display shelf so I can look at it every time I walk upstairs. Okay, so let me know if you guys want an updated stash tour, because I did one a while ago. I can't even remember, but it's probably been like a year ago now. No, it wasn't quite a year ago now that I did a stash tour. It was 11 months ago. It was almost a year ago. I guess it's about time for another stash tour. If you want one, let me know. I think that's it. I think that's all I have. We actually do have nothing new in our lives right now. I think I might try to make bread today again. I tried a few days ago and it didn't go very well, but I think I know exactly what I did wrong, so I think I want to try again. I'm actually getting kind of hungry now. That's another reason I'm having trouble keeping my thoughts straight, is because I woke up so late and haven't eaten lunch yet. But I have leftover bean soup from yesterday that I'm going to be eating for lunch, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, I might mix up some dough and let it prove while I start eating lunch and stuff. See how bread goes this time around. I also would like to do some art today. I might take my sketchbook downstairs, or I might try to work on some bags. That could be fun. We'll see how I feel after lunch. Other than that, there's really nothing going on. I have the urge to knit. Like yesterday, I had a really strong urge to start a new sweater. I have 4 sweaters on the needles. I do not need to start a new sweater. But the urge was so strong that I needed to do something about it. So that's why I actually pulled out my Irish Rover pullover. I was like, I need to knit something new, and because I hadn't worked on this in so long, it felt new when I pulled it out. I was like, oh, this is different than what I've been working on. So that's why that got a little bit of work yesterday. But yeah, I've been wanting to cast on all the sweaters. I've actually been having a lot of like feelings about starting some like more spring and summer tops, smaller ones that can be done quicker, short sleeve tops. I have several that I would like to get started, but I'm trying to finish something before I start something else. I could probably finish, I don't know. I haven't touched my owlery blouse, but that is, I just have the yoke left of that. I could probably finish that in a week. Anyways, I'm rambling now. None of this is important. I mean, nothing is important. Everything is nothing. But you know. Feel free to give us a follow if you're interested in joining me again in a couple of weeks for some more ramblings. I'll put a link to my Ravelry project page down below. I'll try to put links to all the dyers I mentioned in acquisitions down below, and I will try to put a link to where you can find my art information, because if you want to buy any of these bags when they're released, you can follow me on Instagram for updates, but they'll be released in my Etsy shop, so you'll be able to check that out if you are interested. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna go eat. I'm having a hard time keeping my brain straight. So thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you guys next time.